Welcome back to Greene After Hours,
Sup, man?
as usual, but it's very unusual
Yeah,
circumstances.
yeah. It's
You know,
Nick here. I recently, I'll try to get in a shot. Recently broke my ankle, so I'm out of commission for some time. It's been a really rough journey
well,
so
you're not
far.
out of commission though.
No,
It's
yeah, I'm
just
still moving
your
around.
foot.
Yeah, but to do the things that I normally would do, I'm out of commission for those things.
You're not out of commission. You just have to do them in a different way. You understand, like how you were exercising earlier.
That's true.
There's a way to do anything. You know what I mean? You can't limit yourself and say, "Oh, that I'm out of commission," because then you're telling your subconscious that you're not a functioning being when in fact you are. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So basically, you gotta tell yourself positive reinforcements. You gotta, and that positive reinforcement will connect to your physical being. If you just tell yourself, I'm good. I
yeah.
feel good. I can do what I need to do. Don't just it's not shit, man. That's how you gotta look at it.
Okay.
And that's anything in life. Anything you perceive, I've been saying this so much recently, anything you perceive as a wrong, you can't get it wrong because it's going to be right. Even if something, you look at it as a negative, as something like, oh, that's not right, that's wrong, that's incorrect for my life. No, because the fact that you were able to do it and acknowledge that it was incorrect for you means you're on the right path. So don't worry about getting it wrong because it's always going to be right. Anything you do in life, it's always going to be right.
Yeah, you either win or you learn lessons. You never lose.
Yeah, exactly. But learning a lesson is winning.
Mm-hmm.
You still win. I win no matter what. That's the mentality we all need to have. I win no matter what. Because we create reality with our minds. You want to say something?
I'm just taking it in, listening.
I just want you to talk because it's like you've never been on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So this is Alexa.
Yeah, that's it.
Alexa, tell people what you do.
So, I do culinary school. I bake. Today's Nick's birthday, so I made him a cheesecake.
I just want to pause real quick. I don't think you need to even preface that you go to school for. Just say I bake.
Yeah.
Because then it's like you're implying the status of it or something. But if you just say I bake, I'm a baker, you become it. You know what I mean? Like when you speak what you want to become, you are it already. Or when you see what you want to be, you are it already. You can't have the mentality of, oh, I need to get to that, because you're telling your subconscious, I'm not that yet.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying you're already healed. Because
Mhm.
when you live in that mentality of I'm already healed, you will be. But there's no will be because you are already.
Alright, I am ready.
But just to explain it in words, I'm putting it that way. Oh, that cake was amazing, by the way.
Yeah, that cake
Thank
was
you,
bomb.
thank you.
You ever need a cheesecake, man? Hit her up on her
Lexi Sweets.
Lexi Sweets.
I'll put it in the description.
No, I actually deactivated it for a while. I felt like I wasn't really ready to start that just yet.
Yeah.
I was kind of lacking a little bit. I wasn't really baking as much. And I just felt like I wanted to step away from it just for a little bit.
Why's
I don't
that?
mind baking if anyone asks me to, but to start selling just now, I just feel like I'm not ready yet to start.
Well, that's completely understandable, and I feel like I'm in a similar place or was in a similar place. But what I realize is there's never going to be a perfect time. It's never going to be all together. You're never going to have the exact way you want it. So it's better to just start and put something out because at least you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But anything you do that's creative, that's artistic, you're not going to always enjoy or feel like, damn, that's perfect. Let me put that out. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes you just need to put out something just to show people you have something you want to put out. But it's also, I understand, like, you want to have it presentable because you also would like it to be successful. But there's no fear in it not being successful because either way, as long as you're putting in the work and presenting it,
It's bound to get
right,
successful.
it's gonna be more and more. It builds on itself rather than
Mhm.
something like, oh, I don't want to present it yet because it's not where I want it to be, but it's still something. You
Mhm.
still have something. You know what I mean? That's kind of where we're at with the No Limits and the community and figuring it out, because we're just figuring it out as we go along. First, it was just a YouTube channel I made. I was just like, you know what? I work out. Let me just put out workout tips and stuff. And then, we met people. We started networking. It started like, oh shit, this is a movement. This is a team. We started meeting people. People
Mhm.
started getting interested in what we were doing. And so it builds and builds and builds. And now it's still doing that every day. You know what I mean? It didn't just like if I would have never took the first step in doing something,
Mhm.
it wouldn't have been at any point. Or this podcast too. When the first couple podcasts we did, they weren't great. They were great content wise, but the presentation wasn't there yet. But the fact that we got that out led us to where it
Yeah.
is now.
We got our feet wet.
Yeah. Was that a train?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
that's a train.
Yeah,
It's
it's
really
it's no
loud.
problem. But so yeah, all I'm saying is don't be afraid to take that first step,
Yeah.
because fear is really the enemy
Mhm.
of everything, of progress. So like, even if you feel like, oh, I want it to be like this, it's so simple. Just putting out a list, which I saw you had. Just putting out a list, DMing people, putting stuff on, and not worrying. This is
Yeah.
something I've also been practicing, is letting go. So rather than holding on, like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, just let go. Just hands off, and it'll
Mhm.
happen.
People
on its
will notice
natural
you.
course.
Just
Exactly.
post your content, post your your cookies, post your cakes, post your cupcakes and stuff, and people look at it like, wow, that looks really good. Her menu looks really presentable. I want to buy from her. And you'll start getting people. And first it'll start locally. It'll start with people you know. It'll start with people that you're familiar with, and then those people will post you or whatever, and then you'll start getting online. You'll start getting online orders, but it all starts with just do it. Like, don't be afraid to just bake for one or two people regularly. Just keep baking, keep getting better. Because, if you went to school for it, then I'm pretty sure you're really, really interested in it to a point where you're like, you know what? I want to take this to another level. So just don't be
I
afraid
get
to really, like,
I get that, but as of recently, I felt like that passion I had at first for it like I don't really have it. Um I do enjoy baking, and I love making things for people and seeing their reactions, and it's really cool, but I just don't feel like I don't have that feeling that I'm meant for it.
mm,
Yeah, when you pursue something you enjoy, but you pursue it in a monetary sense, I find it's more difficult to want to do that thing. You know what I mean? Or it's
yeah,
like, because we all would ideally want to be able to make what we love our career, but it's a cosmic irony in that when you do that, you begin not to enjoy it as much.
yeah,
You begin to feel like, damn, this is a job.
mm-hmm,
And work is work. We need to do work in life. But for me, like, I'd rather do it doing something I enjoy, or at least something I specialize in. Like, if I'm like stocking boxes, that's a job, and I get it, but it's not utilizing my skills in a way that's meaningful or helping anyone.
mm-hmm,
So for me, it's not something I would want to do. But at the same time, if I take my passion and I try to make that into something lucrative, that's why I don't worry about making money with it, like the podcasts and the videos and
mm-hmm,
everything we do, because I know that that's gonna come, or not gonna
yeah,
come. It already came. I already have it.
mm-hmm,
It's just reaching that in the 3D. You gotta live on a higher dimension so
yeah.
that you can experience anything at any point
The
in
body,
time.
the body lags behind.
Exactly. So I already know I'm on that point.
Mm-hmm,
All I have to do now is just do it. You know
yeah,
what I mean? It's just do it because I want to do it as a passion.
mm-hmm,
And when you do that, you let go of that pursuit of, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do. You let go of that desire, of
and you
that
just
grip.
do it.
Exactly, and you just do it, but just to do it, not for any reason.
Yeah,
Well, not for a monetary reason. You just do it because it's what you love to do.
Yeah, typically like when I tried to monetize personal training, I never really found like I had the heart to do that. I always like people would come up to me and ask me to teach them muscle ups and handstands, and I would tell them like, "Yo, like this is how you do it." And they would, there's many people who tell me, "Yo, why don't you charge that person? That's a personal training client." I'm like, "Dude, if he wants to learn or if he or she wants to learn, I'm going to teach them. I'm not even thinking about money. I'm thinking about that person getting that move." They came to
Thinking
me
about a
with
different type of money.
yeah, a different type of money, cuz you go to the gym. The acronym of gym is get your money. So if you're coming to the gym or you're coming to the park to work out and I see you want to work out, I'm going to teach you. I don't care if you have no money. I don't care if you have, Jeff Bezos money. I don't care about money at all when it comes to personal training or when it comes to training at all. If you're really serious about learning and you're really serious about changing your body, I will teach you and I will also learn from you, because being a teacher is also being a student. Many people today are, quote unquote teachers, but they have their philosophy so ingrained in their head that they're not willing to open themselves up to learn from others. And that's kind of toxic, because that also drives away people from you who want to learn from you. Like there's some teachers who till today who still learn, who still want to learn, who thinks that even though their technique is like completely like godly, they're like, no, it's incomplete. I have to learn.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
have
you
to
should always
complete.
be a student and a teacher in life.
Yeah.
You should always be willing to learn something new, but also be willing to teach others what you know. And I feel like there's a lot of that too, where people gatekeep
Mhm.
for whatever reason, thinking that that's going to help them, like holding on to it. And it goes back to what I was talking about. You just got to let go. And
Yeah.
then you inspire other people to do the same. And where you can look at it the negative way, or you
Mhm.
can look at it in the way I was just saying, which is you're inspiring others
Yeah.
to lead, to do what you do,
Mhm.
versus, oh no, I got to gatekeep and keep it to myself so that others can't. That's the ego mindset.
Yeah.
That's the egotistical mindset, keeping you stuck in a loop instead of propelling everyone forward as a collective.
And it's like, like that gatekeeping mindset. It's kind of like it's like a double-edged sword, man, cuz it's like you could potentially have someone that you teach that can help you with whatever you're dealing with. And since you're gatekeeping that information, you'll never have that potential help in your life, just because your ego is really getting in the way. God can send you that person, and sending you that person like, yo, this is your guardian angel. This is the person that's going to change your life. But no, you want to gatekeep, and it prevents you from having that miracle. And the ego has taught me a lot. Like with this broken ankle, like my ego has just like deflated, like it's gone. And it's just like dealing with this pain, because at night I have a lot of like my muscles seize a lot, and when it seizes, it wraps around the pin, so it's just pulsing, excruciating pain, and I have to like find ways to deal with that. And there's times where like I admit like it's so painful I start crying, because it's like before I never knew how to deal with pain like that. So it's that ego that's inflicting with like my higher self. And my higher self is telling me, yo, like, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And then that's all the tears. That's all the pain. Because, pain is weakness leaving the body. And all those tears are my higher self telling me it's okay. Let go. This is all fake. This is all in your head. Your body does whatever your mind tells you to do. And if it feels pain, is because you're telling yourself it feels pain. And there's times where I don't focus on my wound and I don't feel it. But every time I think of the pins that are in my shin, that's when I start to feel like, oh shit, I'm in pain. But when you don't focus on it and you focus on the shit that actually does matter, you won't feel any pain at all, because it's all in your brain. And this has been a really large lesson in how to destroy my ego. And like when you came to the house, we went to go work out, and at first I was like, you know what, I really don't want to work out because I don't know if I can. And then
Limiting
it just
yourself.
clicked. It just clicked, and I was like, you know what, I don't even care. I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna just do that shit.
No limits.
And I did it, and I was like, you know what, I didn't get all of the 10 down, but at least I did 10 to 5, and that was good enough for me. I was like, you know what, I did something. I did something rather than staying inside and not doing anything. So I'm satisfied. You know, it may not have been the whole set, but I did something and I was satisfied.
That's it.
I did it. And that was perfect for me.
Because if you look at the other side, that's the ego trying to keep you trapped.
Yeah.
But really, it's like you just gotta look at what you did, not what you didn't do.
Yeah.
It's the glass half empty or half full thing. You know,
Mhm.
like you gotta always look at it. I prefer to look at it as full because you're just seeing nothing. You're seeing negativity, and that's not gonna add anything to your life. That's not gonna help you in
Yeah.
any way. It's actually gonna hurt you. It's gonna send you doing the same things over and over and over again.
Mhm.
When there's a better way, there's always a better way
Yeah.
to do anything in life,
Yeah.
no matter what circumstances you have. And that's the mentality of what I'm trying to promote with no limits. You know, no limits. Don't limit yourself. Never limit yourself. You have no limits.
Yeah.
You can do anything.
Mhm.
It's all about the mentality of it. It's not even about the working out physical aspect of not limiting yourself, but like not limiting yourself in life and your mind, because everything is just your mind.
Mhm.
Everything is an illusion. Everything external is false. It's all created by your mind. And so I'm trying to convey to people that if you can control that, if you can learn to control that, harness that, you can literally do anything.
Yeah. And what you said prior to the podcast, you said that no matter what you do in life, you can never go wrong.
Yes.
No, like we have these misconceptions where we take discipline and we try to do something that we genuinely feel like we shouldn't do, but we do it anyways just for the sake of discipline. And you pointed out that that in itself is the ego telling you that you should do something you shouldn't do, when really the thing that you really should do is just trust your instincts. And you know, like half of the things that we do in life are things that we shouldn't even be doing. But when you do something and you know, like, okay, I did this and I don't need to do anything else, that's the right thing. Because when you try to add extra, you're forcing yourself to do something that you shouldn't. So, you know, for an example, like, we were doing the pull-ups and I felt satisfied with just doing 10 to 5. And I was like, you know what, I'm good. But deep down inside of me, my ego was telling me, nah, do the rest of that shit, do the rest of that shit. And I'm like, you know what, I'm good. I'm okay. I did a lot for today. I don't have to prove myself. Because there's nothing to prove. There's nothing to prove. All I'm going to do is destroy myself and make myself feel weaker. Because, you know, I had to climb up those fucking flight of stairs.
It's riding that tightrope, man. Because it's like, it's not to say don't be disciplined, but know when to be disciplined and know when not to be disciplined, if that makes sense. Like,
yes.
know when to let go in any situation. And letting go can mean a lot of different things. It could be let go of the little bitch self that's telling you, no, I don't want to go do that today. I don't want to exercise. Or it could be let go of the toxic ego that's telling you to hurt your body and overdo it. You know what I mean? Like, because you know within yourself. That you know automatically within yourself. You know what I mean? And when you choose to listen to voices that are outside of your realm, that's where you fall apart. But it's riding that tightrope, riding that middle passage between like pushing yourself, but not pushing it too much to where you can't do it again.
Because you are that tightrope.
Exactly.
Your mind is that tightrope. You're like, when you're on a very internal mental like wavelength where you're just focused on yourself and everything that is you, everything around you is trying to knock you off that tightrope of your disciplinary actions with your mind. Like, you'll be going so smooth. You'll be going so smooth. Yeah, it's funny because it's your own mind playing games with itself. your mind is on the tightrope, but it's giving yourself challenges because it's like, you know what? I want to build myself. Take this challenge. I want to see how we react to this. I want to see how I react to this. But you don't think about that because it's unconscious. But then the subconscious creates that tightrope. And then every time you walk on the tightrope, that's your rational self saying, okay, we're here. This is what you're thinking about what to do. What am I going to do here? What am I going to do there? And, sometimes it's hard to really see what is external and what is not. Because sometimes some things that seem external aren't really external. They're really internal that you really neglect. And it makes you imagine it as something that's outside of yourself. Like some people will eat too much and they'll think, oh, that I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with eating too much, when really it is an internal problem where they eat too much and their brain is telling them eat, 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 and they don't think it's that. They think it's an external bodily problem that a doctor told them. It's them that it's really they're affecting themselves. But they listen to the external sources like their doctors or dietitians,
which is also them though. Because there is no external.
There is
it's
no
just reflections of the internal mind.
Everything you see, every person you meet, every person you speak to, every person you think about is all a reflection of yourself. And if we didn't have people around us, we didn't have anything around us, it would just be blank. It would just be you. You wouldn't be you because you wouldn't know how to define yourself. Because you'd be yourself would be so internal that there would be no definition of you, because you classify yourself by the things around you. Like,
yes, we give a shape.
Yes, we give
like
ourselves
water.
shape. We give ourselves character because of the people around us. Like, my relationship with you also is a reflection of myself, of how I really operate and how I speak. Because there's a lot of people that say you and I sound the same. And if you hang around a person long enough, you become that thing, because you guys have a symbiotic relationship. It's a reflection of yourself, and they're also a reflection of you.
Right.
It's all, it melds together. But really, if you had like no distractions around you, you'll have so much power to just do anything you want. Because the external just grabs. It just grabs. That's why it's called external. It's like an arm. It's like an arm reaching into you and grabbing all of your energy and grabbing a part of you.
If you
and grabbing
let it,
a part.
though.
If you let it.
If you just train your mind to know that everything is an illusion of your mind, then there's no limits. Everything is possible. You're not going to say, oh, it's 5 degrees outside, I don't want to go outside. You're going to this is fake. This is not real.
Yeah.
This cold is in my head. I'm making myself feel cold.
There is no cold. That's just like you said, the absence of energy.
Exactly. That's when you pull the energy from within yourself.
Yes. That's why a lot of the Indian culture, they do something called I forgot what it's called. It's something breathing, something meditation. But it's a meditation of circulating your body heat. Because usually when people get hypothermia, it's because their body is regulating the temperature. But when you breathe and you're like, and you focus on the breath, you are in control of your body temperature. So you have it rise. Every breath you take is your body temperature rising. And every breath you take out is you keeping it maintained and regulated.
You're breathing in energy.
Tumo meditation. There we go. It's called Tumo meditation. It's a type of meditation where it's a lot of breathing, but the breathing is very focused. The breathing is very intentional. It's to circulate your body heat. It's to internally control your body heat. Because I found out about that in a Batman comic. I was researching, how Batman would meditate, and Ra's al Ghul had him he stripped him naked and literally threw him into a pond that was frozen over, and he said, you have to stay there for a week. And he stood there for a week and he was shivering, and he's like, I have to control myself. And he just stood there on the ice and just breathed. He just kept breathing and breathing, and that was Tumo meditation. He was learning how to control his heat. Because when you control your heat in the cold,
Yeah,
there is
exactly.
no cold. You are the energy.
You mentioned that now, and I realize, like, whenever I feel cold or my brain is telling myself I feel cold, when I just breathe, I don't feel it anymore.
Yeah, because you are yourself are like telling yourself, oh, it's cold outside, when really it's like, no, there is no climate outside. All it is you are the energy. You have to bring that shit up.
The
You have
breathing grounds you.
Yes, the breathing grounds you.
Electricity.
It's electricity. It's
We
not
are-
oxygen. It's
we are-
electricity.
We are batteries, and the way we charge is by breathing.
Yeah.
You're not breathing oxygen. You're breathing electricity. You're breathing power. You're breathing life force.
That's exactly why even when you breathe, you're burning calories, because it takes energy to burn energy. And every time you breathe, you're breathing in that energy, and that energy is burning off
Exactly.
whatever excess calories.
I think it's funny because you would tell me that anytime it's cold outside, that just breathe.
Yeah.
Like, just breathe. And every time I look at you and I'm like, bullshit. But I actually do it, and then I feel less cold.
Yeah.
I take my time and I
That's true.
breathe.
Cause
And I feel like that's another thing that that's with that's an issue where you'll tell me something and I'll be like, whatever, it's whatever. But like if you actually listen, you're like, oh wow, okay,
yeah.
maybe I should stay out of my head and actually open up and listen to other people instead of shutting down their ideas.
Because the thing is, you're not getting inside your head the way that you should. You're getting inside your head, but you're not getting inside of your head, if you get what I mean. You're getting to the superficial part of your brain, where that's where all the like conscious shit is. But when you get really deep and you're like, okay, I'm here, that's when you have just a wide array of like so many possibilities and so many things you can do. And like shit like social media, that really prevents us from digging deep into our brains.
Yeah, it's like a jawbreaker.
Yeah.
All the layers it has, but the middle is where the sweet part is.
It's where the gum is.
But underneath all that, there's layers and layers and layers, and you have to go deep and peel back those layers to.
And then when you
reach
cut
that
when you
center.
cut that gum in half, it's just hollow. And that
Exactly.
represents you. That's your space. That's the thinking space. That's the thinking capacity that you have. And when you're consuming all of this bullshit from like other people, all this external stuff, you don't realize that you have such a small bandwidth. And that small bandwidth, you're filling it with just things that aren't authentic. And then that's what creates the layers around it. So actually, with a jawbreaker, with that analogy, you're creating different flavored layers around yourself. So that's why, people, when they get emotionally hurt, they put up those walls, they put up those jawbreakers, those layers, and it's hard to get into it because in their brain, there's a little tiny space where all they have is thinking about that moment where they got hurt, and that's all they're thinking about. Okay, this is gonna happen next. That's the same idea. The same thing I went through is gonna happen again. I can't let that happen. Let me make my jawbreaker. Well, that's with anything. Like with me, when I broke my ankle, part of me was like, I'm not gonna skate again. I'm not gonna skate again. But I'm like, you know what? That's the fear telling me that this is gonna happen again. When really, it probably won't happen again. Or it may happen again. I don't know. All I know is that I'm like this, but I want to skate again. That's all I know. And if I put that in my head that I'm going to get injured again, the layers are going to create that. The layers are going to create that injury. And whatever you tell yourself, it's going to happen. And
Right, but okay. So you're saying you don't know. But if you don't know, then you leave it open.
yeah,
And you don't know. But if you say, yo, I know I'm skating again. I am skating again.
yeah,
I'm literally doing it right now. I can feel the ground. I can feel the wheels. I can feel the air breezing as I skate. I'm skating again. If you think like that, it'll be reality, bro.
Yeah.
And so don't leave it open, because you choose, and you have the power to choose
Yeah.
what you want to experience. And it's the disconnect, because it's the physical disconnect with the 4D, with the higher dimensions. And I totally understand that, but when you live in that reality, that will become your external reality reflected in your 3D. So that's why I'm saying, don't leave it open. Don't leave it to I don't know, because you do know.
Yeah.
You already know. You already have the
It's just the
answers.
ego telling me like, oh, there's an uncertainty in you, and it takes that little opening and it just opens it up.
Yes.
It opens it the fuck up, wide open. Rip that shit wide
But
open.
like you said, you have to bring it to the center.
Yeah.
To just be empty, be the space, let it go.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And when you do that and you realize that and you accept that, that'll become your reality.
Yeah.
But it won't become, because it already is.
How do you think I can in my life? How do you think I can limit the distractions that are plaguing like my thinking? Like, what are some
Just
practices you take?
shut it out, man. So, well, what I'm doing now, most recently, is I'm realizing like the pull of social media, the pull to use that, and how it basically impacts your brain, impacts your ability to think and make your own reality, because everything you see is catered to you. You know what I mean? Anything on your For You page, Instagram page, whatever, is all catered to your liking, but also your disliking, if that makes sense. So they know how to fuck with you, is basically
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. And it's your mind fucking with your mind.
Yep.
Because you know inherently it's a distraction. So when you just turn that off, you just meditate. You know what I mean? Just close your eyes and just think. But don't let the feeling of a pull, a distraction get you. Don't be like, damn, this is boring. Let me grab my phone. That's the pull. So stay
Mhm.
stuck. Let me play a game. Let me, take a walk. Anything. Just stay in that state and just be. And just be and just watch your thoughts and just become aware of your thoughts. And so that's one way to do it. But of course, you're not going to be doing that all day. As you're doing things, just see what you want to see and imagine it. Because there's nothing in this world that was not once imagined.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. So what that means is, if you just imagine it, it'll become true. But it won't become true because it already is true.
Yeah.
So just visualize, man. Use everything. We have senses, and all the senses can be replicated in imagination. It's just by so much being in the external world, we forget we could do that. But if you close your eyes right now and imagine whatever, a beach, you can feel the sand on your toes. You can feel the sun on your skin. You can feel the water. You can smell the beach smell, the water smell. You can hear the sounds of the beach. But it's putting yourself, that's how true it is, the synchronicity right there. That's how the power of the mind. And you see that right now.
They're watching.
Exactly. I'm saying some real shit, and so they have to drown it out. Because this is information that if everyone woke up to, we would not be having the problems we have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everyone would just be creating the reality they want to create.
Yeah.
But the thing is, everyone gets shit put on them. So try to just be and write, man. Write. That's your reflection. That's your thoughts. So if you have a thought and you're like, damn, man, I want to keep that thought, write it down. If you have a thought, you don't want to keep it, write it down. And you could look at it and say, yo, that's how I was thinking. Let me take this out. You could look back and reflect on it.
Yes.
And that's the whole point of doing affirmations, too, is another way of doing it. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself what you want to be, you know? If you say, I am beautiful inside and out, that'll reflect in your reality.
Yes.
But you have to say it every day. You have to believe it. And the real secret is you have to feel it. Mm-hmm. Feeling is knowing. Because you could believe something, but when you believe something, you don't really believe it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, I believe in a higher power, but do you know that higher power? You understand?
Yeah.
To know something and believe it are two different things. You could believe something, but it's belief. Yeah. It's a belief. No, I know. You with your foot. I know I'm gonna be skating again.
I know I'm gonna be alright.
Exactly. No, don't say I know I'm gonna be alright, because then you create alright. I know I'm gonna be amazing.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
I know I'm gonna be astronomically more healed. I'm gonna come
Yes.
back even stronger than I was before.
But live in the end.
Yeah.
Because you're telling yourself, I'm gonna. No, you are. You already did. You know what I'm saying? It's living in that end. Living in the end result of what you want. Because if you think, I'm gonna get this or I'm gonna do this, you're telling yourself you're not in it now. And if you're not in it now, it's gonna push that further away from you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to just visualize, use your mind, use your brain. Don't, I would say, pretend, but it's not pretend because it is real. Your
Yeah.
imagination is all that reality holds within. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And so by holding that mental image, and not just image, but everything, sound, smell, taste, use all the senses, create in your mind.
Yeah.
And you can create anything. In terms of distractions, though, just
Cut it out.
you can feel it.
I can feel when it's distracting me.
If something is distracting you, you can feel it's distracting you. Otherwise, you wouldn't know it's a distraction, right? So just tune it down. You know what I mean? The same way with the mics here, just tune it down. Turn off that frequency. Change the frequency. Because anything external is fake. So any audio, all that is fake. It has a role. It can affect you, but only if you let it affect you in the mind.
Yeah.
So everything is the mind.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Social media definitely is a big distraction, and that's something that I struggle with personally because I know that it's a distraction, but sometimes it's hard for me to stay away.
Why so?
Exactly. Because they design it to be that way.
What like draws you to that? What is the
Honestly,
biggest factor that like really is like, oh, I have to go on here?
I don't know. It's just you have your phone and you're like, oh, I'm bored. You go on your phone, you look through social media, you get off, you're like, oh man, I'm bored again. And you go right back to it.
See, you just said it. I'm bored. Boredom is a good feeling. We equate it with not being a good feeling because we have so many escapes from it. But when you just sit with boredom, something is going to come to you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying cultivate that meditation. Practice just being nothing and doing nothing and thinking nothing. Or not thinking nothing, but, trying to clear your head.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, that's when the ideas you need will come to you.
Yeah.
Then you reach that quiet place, that's when what you need will come to you.
And it's
But
funny.
that's why there's so many distractions, so that
Yeah.
your mind can't go to those places because you have an escape. It's right here in my pocket. I just have to go on my phone. That's it.
What's great?
It's an escape.
What's great about that is like when I'm usually like those times where I do practice that, where I'm sitting down and I'm doing absolutely nothing. I don't clear my head. It's like all of my thoughts were just clouded.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, since I don't have that phone or I don't have those apps or anyone communicating with me, all of those thoughts that I thought weren't there, they were always there. It's just the cloud just...
Exactly.
And then the sun is like, oh, like
Yep.
presenting it like, here you go. And I'm just like, oh, let me grab that. That's a good thing to do. And when I do that thing, I perform so well at it.
Just gotta clear the fog, man.
Yeah.
The
No, there
clouds.
was this one time where I stayed away from social media for like a week. Deactivated Instagram, TikTok, just everything. And I was so focused in my fitness. And I was seeing that I was able to do the things I didn't think I would be able to.
Right.
I wasn't focused on what other people were doing, the things that they can do and I can't do.
Exactly.
I was just focused on what I had to do, and it was really refreshing. And then I fell right back into it. But I really feel like that social media is something that we have to kind of take a step back from.
Remember, you can't go wrong because it's always going to be right. So
Yeah.
you doing that, but you saying what you're saying now is being aware of it. There's nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
because you're aware.
As long as you're aware that you're being distracted. So you'll find a way how to utilize it in case you do want to go back to it.
That's where I'm at right now too,
Yeah.
though, because I noticed how much it was distracting me and taking my energy. And I'm a creator, so it's like I wasn't looking at it like that. But even when you go on these apps for even a little bit of time, you have to be like so strong-minded to be able to navigate it without looking like really gotta go. I'm gonna swipe. They purposefully make it hard to do so. You know what I mean? To use it because they want you to engage. Because the whole thing with these platforms is they're not worried about money. They're worried about your attention. And so the more attention you give to these apps, the more money they make. In a sense, the more time they steal from you, the more they could cultivate what they're doing. And so that's kind of the difficult part of being on it, because now I'm taking 3 days from it, right? But in those 3 days, I've made more videos than I did when I was trying to be consistent in post, because I let go of that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I could just create. I'm not worried about, oh, should I do a video like this? I should do this type of video. This is popular. No, I'm not worried about it because I'm not looking at that. It's not even in my world.
Yeah.
It's not my world right now.
Yeah, 3 days to plan, 3 days to shoot film, and then 3 days to edit.
Yeah, and now that I'm looking at it, I could go back to it, but with just, I have a video that was nice. Let me put that up. Okay, log out. Okay, here we go. I have a video. All right, log out. Which is, they make it hard to do that, but I can do that now because I took that time away. I think it's just it's hard because in a way I'm like completely against it, and I think it would be better if we just didn't have it. But then I'm looking at it as, but this is what everyone's on.
Yeah.
And to reach these people, this is what we got to be on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's tragic.
Yes.
Because I wish it wasn't that case, but you go on the train and you see everyone is just in their own world.
Yeah, they're looking at hell.
I look around, everyone's just on social media.
Everyone's on their own little hell.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm visualizing, I'm like, yo, what if I come on that screen, I tell them something that could make them get off?
You know what's very...
It's unlikely. No, it is likely.
It is very likely. It's extremely likely because it's going to happen where people are going to get off of it.
It's happening already.
It's already happening. People are going to get off. And I believe that. But there's going to be a point where a lot of people are going to be against it because they love it so much. They're going to fight for the very system that they're accustomed to. And they're going to do everything in their power to fight us. To fight the people that want to, like, yo, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this social media. This isn't me. And there's going to be people that are like, yo, this is me. This is my reality. I'm going to fight for that shit. So you know what? You and I, we're enemies. And it's going to be like that. And that's how it always has been. It's always has been two sides fighting against each other.
We're just fighting ourselves.
Fighting ourselves. Just humans fighting against humans. And the artificial intelligence are just going to see that and they're going to learn from that. And they're going to learn not to do that. So us fighting each other and us really duking it out in these battles is really pointless. Because at the end of the road, AI is going to fucking take over.
It already did.
It already has.
It already has. That's what social media is. It's an AI that knows you and knows what you like and knows what your habits are and
that's
all
what's
that.
crazy because
and
when
it's
you're
using you to manifest itself in reality.
When you're looking at the phone, you're looking at it in a two-dimensional. You're looking at a two-dimensional plane, and in the Bible, it says the devil gives you everything that you want. It gives you everything that you want, everything you like, everything that you think you like, everything that you think is cool, everything that you want. And it's there on your phone. It's literally, you're looking in hell and you're looking at everything that is for you.
Right.
And it's everything you like. Oh, let's say you like anime. Your For You page is going to be about anime. Because everything you like, the devil's going to give you everything you want to keep you sedated, to keep you complacent, to keep you from reaching that higher purpose, to reaching that higher plane. But getting rid of that, God gives you what you need. God gives you exactly what you need. You let go. You give your heart to the Christ, which is the oil in your spine. You allow that to rise, and you allow it to get to here, and then that's it. You reach your literal higher purpose. And not many people see that because they're so here. It doesn't rise. It stays stagnant. It stays
all these
plateaued.
animes tell you, bro. They put the truth in all these movies and all these animes. Why you think of Attack on Titan? He injects an oil in his spine right here. And how do you kill the Titans? You sever the connection to the spine. You sever the connection to God.
Yep.
And so that's why in the show it shows you how they inject something into the spine to basically turn you into a titan, into a monster.
Yep.
That's our potential.
That's our potential, and it
but
comes
the only
out.
way is you have to rise it to the brain, to heaven.
Yep.
To the kingdom of heaven.
And it's crazy because during one of the
arcs,
the Zeke, the way, so he poisoned the wine, so all of the soldiers drank the wine, and so they didn't know that had Titan serum in it. So when they drank the wine, they thought it was okay, but then when Zeke yelled, they all transformed into Titans, and it's just crazy that that's the same thing that's happening to us now. It's the frequencies, the vibrations, everything that we hear, everything that we listen to. It's affecting us. We're becoming whatever we're listening to. Like a lot of people listen to Little Baby.
They become a little baby.
They become a little fucking baby. Or, you know, like, I actually had a talk with one of my friends about that. He was like, yo, why do you guys like Little Baby? And I told him, I said straight up, it's because the beat sounds good. And because the beat sounds good, it's at a certain frequency where you'll love it. You'll be like, yo, this is catchy. But the rappers will say some stupid shit, and you won't even notice because the beat is what's carrying.
It's putting people in a trance.
It's putting people in a trance.
They're already in a low frequency. You attract whatever frequency you're on. So if you're already in a low frequency, bad environment, bad people around you, you know what I'm saying? It's going to attract that frequency because it resonates with the frequency you're on. That's why when you're on a higher plane of thinking, a higher plane, you don't resonate with that music because it's not on your vibration.
Yeah.
It's not on your vibrational level. But for someone that shit sounds fire because they're in that low...
They're in that low vibration.
Exactly.
Shit, man. And it's like classical...
It resonates.
That's why classical music will never die. Because classical music is in such a high vibration, man. And that's why not many people like classical music. In New York, not many people like classical music because it's so high and its vibration is so high it doesn't resonate with those low vibrational people. And they'll be like, damn, yo, that shit is whack. But when you listen to things that have no lyrics, you create the lyrics by the thoughts that come to your brain when you're listening to that music.
The music is in your head.
The music is in your head and you're creating that subconscious, like, that
meaning.
That meaning, yeah. Like when I listen to Cornfield Chase, every time I listen to Cornfield Chase, which is a song in Interstellar, I cry. I think about my mom. I think about you. I think about my girlfriend. I think about everything because that song, to most people, it's like a heartwarming song. It's like a song of like triumph, a song of like being alone and like thinking about everything. And every time I'm alone, I think like, oh, like I'm alone right now. What are the people around me doing? How are they doing? Whenever I hear that song, that's what I think about. And it's like when you have lyrics and you have people singing you the song, you never appreciate the true, like, your true self. You become those people.
They're using you to feed off of your energy and manifest their own reality.
Yeah.
Rather than what you want to manifest.
Yes, that's why classical music is such, like, it's never gonna die. Because you are the lyricist. You create the moments. You create the setting of the song. The song is just the vibration. It's just the melody. It's just this. That's all it is. And then you create everything. You're piecing everything together, and that's the creativity of your brain. And I've been listening to a lot of classical music lately, and I've been trying not to listen to music with lyrics. And not a lot of speaking. The things that I do listen to with speaking is like funk music. But I noticed that funk music, it makes me feel very primal and very angry. So I try not to listen to funk music as much because I'm trying to be very tranquil. I'm trying to learn humility and really be calm. Because whenever I listen to funk music, it makes me feel like I'm fucking Batman walking through Gotham, punching, breaking bones. Which sometimes, you need that feeling. You need that feeling of like, no one can fucking touch me.
But, but if you exist in that alpha state, you will have that already because you know that no one
can touch you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's sort of the same thing, but in a lower frequency version of the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's all about maintaining the mind of Christ, having that Christ-like mind to just be. You know what I'm saying? That's what
Mhm.
meditation brings you. It's called the theta waves in your brain. It brings you to that state where you can just be.
Yeah.
It just is.
The laptop died, but it's just there.
It's frozen?
Yeah, 'cause it died.
No, it didn't die. I think the video just froze.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
But honestly, that's good. We got
Yeah, we
we got
gotta-
50 minutes.
not bad.
So, anything closing you want to say?
All I want to say is just get off your phones and
Look up.
Look up, man. Like literally and mentally and emotionally and then finally spiritually, and you will understand that all the questions that you have are just right there.
The answers are within.
The answers are within. Everything you want to ask is there. Alexa?
Definitely try taking some time off social media because it helps. It really does. And your mind is not so clouded by what everyone else is doing, and you're able to do what you want to do and focus on the potential you have instead of focusing on the things that other people are able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, guys.